Yeah, what you're looking at there is a rabbit hole, and there's loads of like under fur, soft fur. That would suggest that a female rabbit is in there creating a burrow to have a nest to produce young. So yeah, I should think we're going to start hitting some early baby rabbits soon. I'm not going to escape the wind. It's pretty bad around here at the moment. It's been bad all day actually, and I'm just going to walk down to a local church. It's not too far from me, and it's where I actually got married. Yeah, this is just a quick little look down to see a church this time of day. We haven't got a lot longer left with light. I just needed to get out and just do a quick little hike or a little walk. It's more of a walk because I've got my wellies on. I haven't got any proper decent hiking trousers or anything I use for hiking trousers, so it's a pair of jeans, boots, just a warm hoodie, and I'm out just doing a little hike. The actual, like I just said, the wind is pretty horrendous, but I'm hoping to just show you a little bit of the local church. I do believe that so many people do not take advantage and utilise what they have around them. The outdoors is a fantastic means to make yourself, well, if I'd be blatantly honest, just feel better and nice. Yeah, I've just asked a local farmer if I could go into the field where there's a local Iron Age settlement. So I'll just take you along and you can have a little look. Yeah, along with this wind I'm having a bad hair day, but I'm just going to show you the perimeter of this Iron Age settlement. It's quite something that we have these dotted on the landscape, and a lot of them are pretty much forgotten and lost to time. The Ordnance Survey map clearly shows them, and it makes distinctions between them being either settlements or forts and things like that. This one here looks to have an earthwork bank system. Doesn't look to be like a double rampart system, which is what I traditionally, in my own lack of real education, believe a fort system is. But this has got like a single earthwork embankment, which is what I possibly believe in my naivety gives it that settlement kind of classification. Right, what you have here is a lane which would have been a, shall we say, path that went to a track, and then it ended up being made into a lane, and now it's got a hard covering going around it, which has probably been in existence for generations after generations. And this follows the footprint right the way around of the settlement down into the village. Now, as I bring you around, you can gradually see a small rise there, and that indicates where that embankment started. And as you go around here, you can see a hedge system. Now this hedge system, that in itself sits on top the embankment, or the grass or earthwork embankment. In some ways it looks like just a hedge, but it kind of preserves the actual well, the footprint of the embankment itself. And if you come around, it doesn't take you long to see the other parts of the embankment, which are slightly more, shall we say, obvious, but in a bigger state of disrepair. Right, here we go again. We're now reaching that slight embankment. As you can see, a slight rise up in a different level. There's the hedge, and if I stand on top, you can see how it filters round into the next part of the embankment, and it follows around to the hedge line. And this would have been the area that is encompassed by the whole settlement. Right, I'm gently going to scan around and you can see the actual view that you get from this settlement. Like I can say, it's not a massively prominent position, but what it does afford them is a river source just a little bit further down this hill, and shall we say flat ground where I suppose they could graze animals. Right, inside the actual settlement grounds starts to become a little bit more obvious, as you can see the depressions. If you look around, you can actually follow the line of the earthworks right the way around, where it comes up to here and back to where we are. And I'll just walk over there and get a different perspective so you can see what the type of or the amount of ground that was occupied. Yeah, so here you can see this the distinct definition here of the earthworks, where the settlement was up here and the lower ground beneath it. And I'm stood on a rise here which goes around, and you can still see the outline and where it comes up to where the road is. And looking back up through to that hedge system, yes, it encompasses a fair little area of ground they would have occupied. Coming to the church gates, you were presented with this structure, and that was where the coffins were, shall we say, laid just before they were taken to their final resting place. This is the pathway to the Church of St Mellor. It's actually getting quite dark now. Hopefully there'll be enough light to finish this. And this is the pathway down. That's the door to the bell tower. It is quite a high building, this one, or church. And you make your way around to the actual entrance over here. There is a sundial on this side. And this is where you come to the actual entrance to the church. I'll leave my hiking stick outside, and it's a push the gates to go. That noise is always very eerie. There's some stocks back in the day, or shall we say many hundreds of years ago. If you were shall we say convicted of any wrongdoing, and it wasn't too serious, as in it had to go higher to the magistrates or the, further up the court system, you would have found yourself putting those stocks, either feet out this end or hands. I would suggest feet by the size of those, and you would have been ridiculed by your local community as your form of punishment. Here there is actually a stick hanging up. It was a crook, but it's obviously now decided to pull back to its original shape. Don't know what it's there for, but it is there now. This is the door. And this is the church that me and the wife got married in. It's an absolutely beautiful church. Stunning. As I've just alluded to, it is getting dark. I'm always out walking when it's dark, but it's a beautiful church. Yeah, making my way out now. There was nothing to really see there. It's just getting a bit too dark. Shut the gate, get my hiking stick, and just tootle around here. There is an interesting grave around here, and there's just enough light to show you it and explain a little bit about it. Absolutely stunning church. We couldn't have had a better location to get married, me and the wife. It is our local parish church as well. There's a bit of pinky red in the sky up there, so I don't know if that means we could be in for better weather tomorrow. Now that grave I showed you, Daniel Gum, he actually was a hermit who lived in a cave up at Minions, and I did a video which I did actually show you the location of his actual cave. He was actually born and raised in this parish, and he was a very talented academic man. But he chose to live his life in a kind of solitude and kind of almost like a hermit to avoid any taxation and financial pressures. He was married several times, I believe, and had children, and his last wife and children lived with him in this cave, and it would have been a hard life up there because it's on high ground. He was a stonemason and a stone cutter, and indeed he did a lot of the gravestones, and that was one of the gravestones that he cut and he signed himself, that one with the skeleton and skull on the top. So yeah, he was a very talented man, but it's just interesting that he did come from this parish, and that was one of the graves that, or gravestones that he did actually cut by hand to be used by the family for the individual of the deceased. I'm doing a bit of a quick loop now to get back before it's dark. I've got about a mile and a half to do. Not overly far, but I'm in wellies. I'm not in good walking, shall we say, footwear. And I've got some dark ominous clouds ahead of me. And there I was talking about better weather. I just rounded that corner to this gateway, and suddenly the wind hit me as it's actually coming off that high ground down into the valley, and then it's whistling back up here as it's starting to reach some more higher ground. And where I'm at now, as you can see, is totally open to it, and the wind noise is starting to pick back up. Right, I'm going to call this video an end now. I'm beginning to lose light, and I'm actually treading the lane back home. It's been a nice little, shall we say, hour just getting out and about. You know, clears the head, clears the mind, and you feel fresh. Now, it's not the best content, but the thing is, I will do a better one when it's better weather. I just needed to get out, and like I said, it's made me feel a lot shall we say, sharper and clearer. So yeah, I'm heading home, so I'm going to call this a day. This is Andy from Folklore Hiking Sticks.